So you want to learn how to create this puddle splash effect inside of After Effects? Well, stick around because I'm about to break it down step by step inside of this tutorial. But real quick before we get into it, excuse my voice, I'm sick as fuck right now. But either way, I'm Lurking Visuals and I run the Stay Creative store where we got all of the presets, assets, overlay, and you know the drill, all of that good stuff that you need to elevate your music video visuals. So if that's something you've been looking for, make sure to check the first link in the description. But let's get right into this tutorial. So right here, I got this lucky clip. And don't ask me what the fuck is going on in this shot, I don't even know. But we can start off by creating this adjustment layer right here, and this is pretty much where we'll add all of the effects on. So we can start off by going to effects and presets and add on a warp bubble effect from Sapphire, and let's add on the original one. And we can turn down the amplitude to like 0.2, so it's really low, and the frequency to like 4. Just keep it really subtle so we get this watery look, you know. And since my clip got these crop edges, I'll actually resize my composition just so I can get rid of those. But either way, let's turn down the frequency to like 6, and you can keep the amplitude pretty low, you don't want it too high. So you should have something like this right now. So keyframe the amplitude from 150, and also make sure to keyframe the rotate warp direction. And let's go to like 1 second in, and right here we can turn down the amplitude to 0, and we can turn up the rotate warp direction to 90, just so we can get more of that wet look. If you want an even heavier puddle, then you could also keyframe the frequency from 6 and then drag it down to like 1 right here, and also turn up the rotate warp direction to some higher number. And now you can tell that we have a lot more going on in this scene. But that's not really the puddle that we're going to use. This is more like a warp effect. So let's add on a Distort chroma effect, once again from Sapphire. So right now it looks like this, which is way over the top, it's way too much. So let's turn up the blur lens to 500, and let's turn down the amount to like 0.1. So you can see it's not too much going on right now. You can even drag up the amount a little bit more if you feel like it, to something like this. And let's keyframe the amount and the rotate warp direction once again, and go to the part where you have your other keyframes and turn down the amount to 0 and turn up the rotate warp direction. I'll turn it up to -135 this time so it can rotate in the other direction. So now we got this going on, which is really subtle, it's not too much. So let's spice it up a little bit more before we create the puddle. So let's add on a turbulent displace effect, and we can drag up the size to like 250, and for the amount we can turn it up to like 70 or 80, something like this, and keyframe the amount. And you can also keyframe the size and go all the way back here. Once again, turn on the amount to 0, and you could just drag down the size a little bit. Now if you want some more movement, hold Alt while you press the stopwatch on the evolution right here, and you can just type in time times like, let's do 360. So this will basically just rotate the evolution, so we don't gotta keyframe it. Just give us more of that wet look, give us more of that kind of puddle vibe that we're going for. It's a lot better. We get more of that puddle look, which is great. And when we work with the graph editor a little bit, it will look even better in a minute. And now I think we're finally ready to add on the puddle effect. So search up warp puddle from Sapphire, and right off the jump you can tell it's way too much. This is not the puddle effect that I'm going for. So let's drag down the frequency, and something like 4 should be enough. So now you can see we got a little bit of a better looking puddle, maybe even 3. And you can drag up the height to 1, so you can see that we have a normal looking puddle right here. And for the amplitude, I think I'll go for 1.5, excuse me, I mean 0.15. And let's keyframe the amplitude. Now if you want to create a good looking puddle, I would say that you should do something like this, basically to the negative version of what you got right now. So just put a minus in front of it, and then do the same, go in like 2 frames in once again, and then remove the negative. I mean 4 frames, and then 4 frames once again. Try something like this. I think we should get something good looking right here, and then maybe just go all the way down to 0 right here. And now you can tell that we get a really heavy puddle effect when we do this. So I'd say that you could ease these keyframes. If it's way too heavy for you, then make sure to just drag this out instead, so it doesn't look that aggressive, you know, to something like this. So it looks like this right now, which is still a little bit too much. So I'll actually remove this one and just do it once. So it goes from 0.15 down to negative, up to positive, and then back once again. So I'll keep the distance between my keyframes, something like this. Now I'll just mess with the graph editor for all of my effects. I'll create something like this for most of them. So it's pretty heavy in the beginning. So we have most of the momentum right here, but not way too much. We don't want to overdo it. And then it kind of slows out. And to do this, I'll just select all of my keyframes and I'll use the flow plugin right here. So I'll have a graph that looks something like this and then just apply it to all of my keyframes. I'm not sponsored, but this is just a good plugin, so it just helps me save a lot of time. But now it looks like this. It's a really cool puddle splash, and this effect is actually from my Ultimate VFX Kit, where I got over 55 presets. I'll open up the animation presets right here. And in the Ultimate VFX Kit, you can see I have all of these presets. Excuse me, I have over 50 presets. It wasn't 55, so it's actually 51. But you get all of my personal presets that I use for most of my VFX work when I edit music videos. And it's just a crazy time saver. So if you want to save some time and also get some crazy presets, make sure to check the first link in the description. I'll leave the Ultimate VFX Kit linked right there. But that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching to the end, even though my voice sounds horrible. It means a lot, and make sure to leave a like and subscribe. You can also follow me on IG because I drop a lot of sauce over there. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.